and I kind of like his content. He does seem to get quite into quite a bit of trouble and say quite a bit of things that sometimes he's quite wrong at. But we'll see what he's got to say on this video here.
Some more shenanigans going on in the VTubing scene. We got a little bit of everything today, okay? We have the usual virtue signaling posts about the problematic VTubers in the scene. We're going to see some more Rev derangement syndrome, and we're even going to see one VTuber view shaming another VTuber while getting less views than them. We have a little bit of everything today, ladies and gentlemen, but it all starts with this artist named Usagi, who, well, like many people, has a bit of the Rev derangement syndrome. And I just noticed a chatter pointing this out to me very recently. There is an E missing here. I never noticed this. Whoever made this meme that I've been using for months never did that, and now I can't unsee it, but I'm too lazy to change it. But anyways, using the keyword search Rev on their account, you can see they are happy that other people are supposedly hated by me. I don't hate any VTuber I talk about on here. I mean, I don't really think it's that deep. I'm allowed to criticize people. I don't get into some like personal feelings towards anyone I talk about. But anyways, they're also surprised that I've never done a video about them. Well, I guess they got their wish, but I want to make this very clear. I have no idea who you are and why you're expecting anything from me. But anyways, their recent target is not just me, but also Banana Juju, who is one of the quote-unquote problematic VTubers out of there. We've talked about her multiple times before. She's been labeled a chud, a racist, and many other things, just like anyone in the VTubing scene who has an opinion that is even a tiny bit right of Mao Zedong. She got initially canceled, so to speak, because of her VTuber model having fair skin with locks in her hair. People said that was racist and cultural appropriation, and the people making those claims were largely independent VTubers. But VTuber fans didn't care. Instead, they rallied behind her because they saw she was another victim of cancel culture, and she has retained that audience by doing, oh, what's that thing called? Oh yeah, consistently making content and entertaining people so they stay. I know, very foreign concept to many. But this artist made a call-out post recently targeting Banana Juju, showing screenshots of Banana Juju's promotions for her stream that have AI generated art, and the artist says, "Love to see that no artists want to work with people like her anymore. We need more artists to blacklist people like her, Powder, Rev, etc. Keep using AI instead because that is the only trash you guys deserve. Crappy generated slop for your slop content." That's interesting to say because this person is upset about Banana Juju using AI to produce this art to promote her streams. They want to support artists, I guess, by making this call-out post, but at the same time, they want people like Banana Juju and myself to be blacklisted from artists, so we can't even commission artists. So at the end of the day, you don't want us using artists and supporting them. Instead, you'd rather us keep using AI? Like, make it make sense. Like, it's completely contradictory to what they're trying to achieve with their post. But yeah, you can see some more Rev derangement syndrome, more virtue signaling, and they would get dunked on by everyone, including Banana Juju, saying Chibi Juju is getting drawn and rigged by an artist, while you are spewing your BS instead of working on your open comms. Yeah, isn't that amazing? All the artists in the VTubing scene who are constantly virtue signaling and making call-out posts always have open commissions. They're never booked up. Man, it's like if they maybe focused more on making art instead of whining about other people, maybe they would be able to complete and achieve more commissions. I don't know. But yeah, that was their response, and right afterwards, this artist would private their account, at least briefly, and Banana Juju would say, "Someone can dish, but they can't take."
This is your warship. Yeah, not even close. This is your ship. And you want to conquer the ocean. Then begin your ride.
What do we got?
Upgrade your cannons. Reinforce your hull.
Ultimate
set your
sea
sails
battle.
toward distant islands.
No thank you.
Fight through brutal naval...
Which, yeah, many such cases. I mean, how many times have you seen someone in the VTubing scene make a call out post unprompted against other people, like myself, for example, and then when they get any response, especially a response from the person they're calling out, they immediately hide. I mean, we've seen this play out many, many times in the past, but people started trying to dunk on Banana Juju in the quotes of this post. This user sharing a screenshot of their other accounts, so they're attacking them with multiple accounts at once, saying, I agree, with a screenshot of her views gained in the last 7 days going down by 40%. Like, okay, are you really sure you want to start view shaming people? That's a very weird thing to do. You're not producing any sort of a counter argument to anything she's saying. You're just trying to shame her for her views going down over the last week when this was made. I mean, let's be real. If you're in the VTubing scene or in content creation, there are ups and downs week by week. Like, if you have 1 week where a video pops off and does really well, well, guess what? If you have an average week the next week, it's going to go down when you compare the two. Like, it's not a big deal. That's just how, like, content creation works. If you're going to get bent out of shape because you have 1 week where things go down in terms of views, for example, well, you're not going to last.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And you will have trends that will flow up and down frequently. I've starting to see that in just my own uh, analytics.
Very long because you're going to lose your mind. But this was the response from Banana Juju, and I think it was a very appropriate one for the amount of effort that was put into that attempt to dunk on her. But that moves us on to the next person in this video, this Kaio individual, who we've talked about before. He also has a bit of the Rev derangement syndrome. He says that basically it's a W to get blocked by me, which, as I always say, if I block you on Twitter, that just means you're super annoying. It's not exactly a W. But this is also the person who I made a video about a few months ago because they called me an incel and then told my wife to her face that she married a far-right incel. Very interesting. Rev derangement syndrome consumes all, ladies and gentlemen. But recently, this individual has been attacking VTubers, attacking this post where a VTuber said, basically, I wish there was a time we could go back to where you could have different opinions and still get along. Where Kaio says you can disagree and still be friends when it's about small things like sports or games, but when someone is openly hateful or bigoted and still expect people to maintain a friendship with them, that's just stupid. Yeah, I love this person preaching about hatefulness and bigotry. Reminder, this is the guy who said you can't be racist towards white people. And of course, this is also a response to him simping over Uki Violetta, the VTuber who's also a person who claimed you can't be racist against white people, and also is a self-hating man who constantly disparages men all the time. And keep in mind also, this person is constantly calling people slurs, saying bundles of sticks many different times, but it's okay because he's saying slurs wokely. While, of course, about a year ago, telling people like Kirsha and her community that they are terrible and a waste of time because they spew racism and slurs.
Oh, now if you're going after Kirsha, that definitely cements that your opinion is rejected. She doesn't seem to come off as being a racist person. Uh, Definitely could say she would dance the line of dark comedy, for sure. But nah, I don't think she'd be a racist person.
I regret to inform you, the call is coming from inside the house, Kaio. This is you and your community. Now, going back to the post about having different opinions, he added another response because the first one wasn't enough, saying like, what a loser. I hope your month of fame is nice until you fall off like Banana Juju. So another attempt to view shame Banana Juju in this video, which is very strange because based on numbers as pointed out here, Kaio is view shaming Banana Juju while getting less views than her. You can see these charts provided here.
Hello everyone, today I am testing an interesting tool called Hitem 3D. Hitem 3D can generate a
Sorry, I am
fully
not interested
textured
in your
3D
hidden
model
3D.
from a
Kaio averaging 141 viewers, Banana Juju averaging 151. If you look at the numbers, Banana Juju is increasing over time and only started streaming about a year ago compared to Kaio, who's been streaming since 2022 and really peaked out right around the time Banana Juju started and has been slowly decreasing over time. Again, I think both of their numbers are fine, right? But this is the guy who is calling people losers and shaming people like Banana Juju, saying they fell off. You're the one making the comparisons. And if you go even more recent, like looking at the last week or so, this is the Twitch numbers. He's averaging around 250, peaking out at 290 peak viewers, averaging around 200. You go to Banana Juju in the same time, she's averaging over 200, nearly 250, and peaking over 300. She's getting more views in the last week. And that's not even considering the fact that Banana Juju also multi-streams on YouTube. So it's splitting up that number even more. Again, it seems like a very weird thing to say, to call someone.
Now I know where I know Banana Juju from. The Skybrows video. It was bothering me, I couldn't place it, but now I realize it must be from the Skybrows video.
Falling off while they're getting more numbers than you. And also keeping in mind, they started a lot more recently than you. And they've maintained and actually continued to build their audience. But I guess Banana Juju got the last laugh here, ending up in the hidden replies of Kaio, saying instead of thinking first, I support the current thing, referring to Kaio. And this was the post that the hidden response was found on, where he says, I hate fence sitters. Brace yourselves. This is a very high intellect post right here.
When there are streamers who are like trying to sit on the fence to appeal to everyone, I couldn't imagine ever doing that. I couldn't live knowing that a MAGA bitch watches me, you know? Like the moment I even get a hint of MAGA-ness in you, like you gotta go. Like I don't with that at all. It's okay if you're a Republican and you watch me, because that's like different, right? I guess. But if you're MAGA, you're not even human anymore to me. You're just like a cultist member. I don't vibe with that at all. So when I see VTubers that are fence sitting with the whole ass like fence up their pussy, I don't understand how you could ever deal with that shit in your community, even like knowing something like that is around you. Ew. The righties like to argue about like, oh, you claim your place is a safe space for all, but you don't want these people like MAGA in your community. Well, yeah, because the moment you enter, it's not safe anymore, you dumb like you're a parasite, duh, because you think like everyone's existence in this chat, including me, is like not valid. So like, why would we want you here? Are you dumb? Like, what a stupid argument. You're actually brain dead if you think that.
Oh geez, this guy hates fence sitters.
Wow, that was the most biased opinion that I've actually ever heard. Just dismisses. So it's easily dismiss your argument.
And all of his opponents are all in a cult and they can't ever speak out. I would challenge this guy to come out to his own audience and say there's only two genders or something basic like that. They would completely turn on him. That's what a cult actually looks like. But, you know, I can spare you the very needed analysis of this post here, but let's just read some of the quotes that handle it. Coming from someone who thinks you can't be racist towards white people, your opinion holds zero weight. IQ so low it's in hell. Gays like Kaio are the reason LGBT acceptance is now lower than ever. MAGA are subhuman. Again, I keep saying these people hate you to the point that they want you dead. This guy is a known racist and brags about how he hates men, and yet he's claimed to be gay, which I think is just a grift. The only time I see this class clown being talked about is when he's being the biggest toxic regard on the planet, ranting about how he wants people dead over some fake headcanon reason he made up in his mind to defend his vile hates. And here's one more. You're literally one of the most openly bigoted people on this platform and you're whining about MAGA, then immediately hopping on the fence again and going, I mean, not Republicans though, Please, someone has to watch my garbage. Don't go. And of course, the post I was referring to, which was hidden from Banana Juju, is this right here where she actually achieved a ratio replying to him despite getting tossed into the hidden replies, which is basically like highlighting the comment. Like when you put someone's response into the hidden replies, you're just highlighting that not only did it bother you, but like, here is the post, give it more attention. And that's exactly what happened. But speaking of ratios, he's achieved many against him thanks to this recent post. I wasn't even going to talk about this in the video, but recently he said this: game elitists thinking they're better than others because they played the original Resident Evil games with crap tank controls are so cringe. 700 likes, 600 comments. I don't think this is going to go very well for him. Also, 1.4 million views with 700 likes. Brutal. This meme every time. I love video games, but I would never ever play anything made before 2015. Just look at the replies destroying him. Game tourists thinking they deserve to have an opinion on things they've never experienced and refuse to are so cringe.
Why wouldn't you
crap
play
tank
before
controls?
2015?
Just admit you don't have the skills to
Anything
work
wrong
tank
with those
controls.
games?
Some of us
Is it the
smooth
graphics?
through with tank controls like butter while watching others get caught on every angle. Change. Yes, I am better than you. No brain. Because that does make us better. I understand why regards dislike tank controls, as you need to have an IQ above 80 in order to properly utilize them. Imagine thinking tank controls are bad, LMAO. And I think this series of responses really sums it up. Just look at the number of likes from this user versus his responses. Beginning with, I mean, they actually like the games, so yeah. Kaio says, it's almost like you don't have to play every single game of a franchise to be a fan of it. The other user says, I think actively denigrating large parts of the franchise because you don't understand them is another thing entirely, but what do I know? I actually like video games. Kaio says, it's not about not understanding, it's about not wanting to, LOL. Point still stands, you can still be a fan of something without having to play every single game and follow every single piece of media from a franchise. The other user saying, and by itself, that would be reasonable, but with the context of every game up to and including 5 is poopy doo-doo, I don't think that can be reconciled with, I like the series. Kaio says, I didn't play the games because I don't like tank controls, but I still watched it on YouTube. Oh, jeez. Because I'm interested in the series, it doesn't make me any less of a fan than anyone who did play. The other user says, I mean, I'm a believer of the concept that you can be a fan of something through a Let's Play myself, but the idea that you're as much of a fan as someone who cared enough to go through the actual intended experience is a bit of a stretch. Don't you think? Kaio says, not a stretch at all. I even know people who haven't played games from certain franchises but put more time and effort into learning about the lore than people who actually have played the games, especially with people who play Resident Evil games and just skip all the notes in-game. The original reason I made this tweet was because I saw someone being interested in the Resident Evil games, and the comments were flooded with people telling them to not play it at all if they're only going to play the remakes, which I think is just weird and gatekeeping. And one final ratio to cap it off, the other poster says, I don't know, I feel reading the wiki or watching lore videos is just inherently less investment than the actual core experience, and it's not like a hardcore gameplay only would call themselves a fan. But yeah, the remakes are fine experiences even if they're not a replacement for the OGs. I mean, this was an entire series of Kaio trying to gas up these tweets and just getting ratioed into the Shadow Realm by someone with like 200 followers. It was absolutely brutal to witness. But yeah, that is the absolute state of the VTubing scene. I'm just glad I'm here to collect content and to use it for myself so we can all have a laugh at people who are very disingenuous, hypocritical, and just attention-seeking in every single regard, and I look forward to them crashing out about this video as expected here. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed.